Kate Middleton's private battle while Prince William suffered with COVID. As Prince William battled COVID-19 earlier this year and was struggling to breathe, wife Kate was facing her own private battle too. On April 9, there was breaking royal news. William and Kate, Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, had undertaken their very first official video call engagement, speaking to primary school staff and children. And you thought being royal was all finger sandwiches and liveried servants ironing your socks. Royal watchers and social media devolved into a lather of excitement over the future king and queen's tech-savviness and Kate's choice of a bargain Zara sweater for the occasion, which she paired with her signature cheery, jolly hockey sticks persona. The world now knows that as the couple zoomed away from behind the walls of their Georgian country home Anmer Hall, the reality was far, far less rosy. Earlier this week The Sun broke the news that William had been diagnosed with COVID-19 in early April, with a source saying, "William was hit pretty hard by the virus, it really knocked him for six." Given that William will one day be the titular head of a government, army and church, this was a fairly monumental occurrence for the palace machine to decide to keep secret. While his father Prince Charles' positive coronavirus result was made public on March 25, the palace explained that the decision to not make William's result public became he just didn't want to worry people. He felt there were more important things going on in the country. That keep calm and carry on zooming philosophy does not particularly stand up to much scrutiny, especially given that other high-profile figures such as Prime Minister Boris Johnson saw fit to make their diagnoses public. Also, after more than a year of the Prince Andrew, Jeffrey Epstein imbroglio having cast doubt over the royal family's transparency, the shrewdness of this William furtiveness is up for debate. But we're here to talk about Kate. While the exact date of William's diagnosis has not been made public, on March 19 the Duke, alongside Kate, visited the London Ambulance National Health Service 111 service. The next time he was seen in public, so to speak, was the aforementioned public school video conference, suggesting that he was sick at some point between those dates. Throughout the COVID pandemic, the 38-year-old Duchess has been widely hailed as having played a belter. Faced with the first real test in her, nearly 10 years on the royal job, Kate has shown as a sort of blow-dry beacon of cheerfulness that princesses in waiting are expected to be. If there is one thing that can be said about Kate, it is that she makes being a working member of the royal family look effortless. When she rolls up to some official do or engagement, there is no clue that she has, very likely, been up since dawn submitting herself to tedious hours-long hair and makeup sessions, or that she has sat through the required lengthy pre-engagement briefings. And that's why, in retrospect, Kate's performance during those 20 days in late March and early April is even more remarkable than was thought at the time. While to the world there she was popping up on Zoom calls and dispensing jaunty support and positivity, her own private life must have been positively hellish. To start with, William. The Sun has reported that the second in line to the throne, at one stage he was struggling to breathe, so obviously everyone around him was pretty panicked. After seeing medics and testing positive, which was obviously quite a shock given how fit and healthy he is, William was determined it should be business as usual though. He was determined to fulfill his engagements. For Kate, on a purely personal level, having a potentially fatal disease hit her family, a disease that has claimed the lives of thousands of otherwise young and healthy adults around the world, must have been terrifying. Next year marks the Cambridge's 10-year wedding anniversary. Surely not one of the 1,900 people in Westminster Abbey on that day or 2 billion odd who watched it on the telly could have predicted that in less than a decade both the first and the second in line to the throne would be struck down by a global pandemic. And yet, there was Kate in her mustard Zara number, having faced perhaps the greatest personal and professional tests of her marriage and royal career simultaneously, all the while exuding perpetual cheerfulness. Likewise, Anmer Hall might boast 10 bedrooms, but the logistics of William quarantining in a house that also included 3 rambunctious children, and nanny, housekeeper, not to mention the Duke and Duchess staff, are far from simple. During World War II, the Queen Mother, then Queen Elizabeth, assumed saintly status after her performance during the Blitz. She and her husband King George VI refused to quit Buckingham Palace for the safety of the country, even when bombs landed in the grounds of the palace, saying, "I am glad we have been bombed. Now we can look the East End in the eye." Likewise, images showing the 40-year-old touring London bomb sites and dispensing magisterial comfort have become the stuff of legend.